All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for being on time. Took a little bit for some of you. I appreciate it very much. So let's take a big, deep breath. Let it out with a sigh. And another. So my plan is to share something with you about the 12 chakra system, and then we'll do a grounding that's based on that. I don't know, Olivia, if you can do this in the train station. You may have to imagine it, but we'll be standing up and doing it with our body. So just do what you can. So first of all, I find this a fascinating, I'm going to do a screen share. I find this a fascinating version of the chakra system. Whoops. Not cooperating. Do as I tell you, not as you think you want to do. Thank you. So this shows the 12 chakras, and including one, the 8th, that's beneath the feet, that's a figure 8. So when you work with it this way, it provides a really deep grounding. And so you've got the 12th chakra. Now, every system calls them something different. It's kind of like everybody's idea about vitamin C is different. It's just how life is. This calls it the divine gateway chakra. Lazara says the 12th chakra is a place in which God, Goddess, all that is the breath that becomes you. So the 12th chakra is the God, Goddess, breath that becomes you, the seat of God force consciousness. That's the 12th chakra. Then, so we bring in our light from our being into the 12th, and then it steps down into the 11th, the soul star chakra, which is the realm of true spiritual essence. And then it steps down again, and the soul star chakra is the home of the higher self. Then it spirals again into the real self chakra, which is the realm of your true transcendent self. And then it steps down again into the etheric chakra, which is the realm of the possible. And we're always surrounded by this etheric body, which holds the perfect template for our physical body. So each of these corresponds to one of the subtle bodies. Then it steps down to the crown chakra. Well, from the etheric, it goes down to the 8th beneath the feet. Spirals back up, comes into the crown, comes down again to the figure 8 beneath the feet, spirals up to the 6th, and each chakra then gets grounded in that figure 8. So I thought we would stand and do that meditation. It's really quite amazing to be that grounded. You ready?
Yeah.
Great. So standing up. And feel your roots deep into the earth. Feel the grounding that you've had till now. Oh, calling in your light. It's always wise, I think, before we reach up, to reach down into the earth. Feel those roots really going deep into the planet. And maybe even move from one foot to the other a little. Get yourself down in your feet. Sometimes I find I'm only in my body to about here. Bring yourself all the way down into your feet. And now let's reach up into the light of your being and imagine calling in that light into that divine gateway. So you're calling it right in from the God consciousness itself. And breathe and just notice how it feels to bring that light there. And then feel it moving into the 11th chakra, the soul star chakra, the realm of your true spiritual essence. So it's about probably 18 inches above your head. And then breathe and notice that. And then allow that light to move into the 10th chakra, the real self, the realm of our transcendent self, and the higher self. Feel that your light is illuminating your higher self. And breathe. And feel that light coming into the 9th, just above the crown, a few inches above the crown, the realm of the possible, the causal realm. Then allow that in your imagery that the light then spirals around you, and a bubble around you goes to that figure 8 beneath the feet and energizes the figure 8. Just feel it moving in that figure 8 beneath the feet. Then breathe. And then breathe that light up into the crown chakra right above the head, energizing the crown. And there's also light flowing from the heart of your being, your God force down through these chakras, energizing the crown. And then let it spiral around inside the other spiral, down to that to the figure 8 beneath the feet, the 8th chakra, the realm of unlimited probability. Filling that with light. Feel the figure 8 playing with itself a little bit to ground the crown. And then breathing up again, letting that light flow up into the 7th, the 6th, the brow center, the third eye, energizing the third eye, breathing into it. Allowing the light to arc around inside the other 2 bubbles down to the figure 8 beneath the feet, energizing unlimited probability. Breathing, letting that arc up into the throat, bringing it up into the throat chakra. Still the flow of light from the heart of source and light from this grounding chakra, opening and energizing the throat, your true voice, creative expression. And then with the breath, sending that down to the figure 8 beneath the feet. Unlimited probability. Doing that movement of the figure 8, grounding your throat. And let it arc up into the heart, center of love, compassion, self-love. Let it play in the heart chakra along with the light from your God force, energizing, potentiating the heart chakra. And then let it, with the breath, flow around in an arc down to the eighth beneath the feet. Feeling that figure eight grounding your heart. With the breath, let it arc up into the solar plexus, center of will, center of power, full range of emotion. Energizing the solar plexus. And with the breath, letting it arc down to the eighth again. Figure eight, grounding the solar plexus. With the breath, let it arc up into the second sacral chakra. Creativity, sexuality, sensuality, energizing the second. And with the breath, letting it arc back to the first. Figure eight, grounding the second chakra into the realm of unlimited probability. With the breath, letting it arc back to the eighth beneath the feet. The figure eight, ground the second. And arc up into the root with the breath. Center of security, comfort, also sexuality with the second. Let it energize, potentiate the first chakra. Grounded with that eighth chakra in the earth. Breath, put a hand on your heart and just below the navel. Notice how you feel. Notice if it feels like you're more in your chakras, more grounded. Just allow. Ah. Ah. And then let's ask for a waterfall of sparkling iridescent light to wash us through. And bring yourself to your seat. Take a moment and just close your eyes. Behold yourself. Bless yourself. Letting your essence coalesce in your center. And if you like how this feels, you might find a way to put your hand on your body in a way that anchors this in your body so you can access it another time. Some way that you'll remember. And anytime you're in a really exalted state that you love, add it to your anchor. This is neurolinguistic programming. You build an anchor every time you add a powerful state to it. And then when you need it, you can fire your anchor. So I have mine right here, so I'm busy teaching, and I can just put my hand on my heart. Call in all the accumulated light that I've worked with. Nobody knows. Gotta get more air in here. So, how was that? So that is in your famous Mighty Networks group, which you might visit.
So I've been going there and I haven't been able to figure out how to find the charts that you've been showing us so I could print them out and use them. You told me last time, but I didn't absorb it. So if I go there,
I'll show you again.
okay.
So when you go there,
Yes.
you make sure you're on the summer. Some people have more than one. Summer 2023. And you
Okay.
click right up here, this very top box. See it where it says search?
Where it says search. Wait,
Right
there. Okay. Yes.
So you click there and it shows you, they're called highlighted hashtags.
Aha.
And so
Okay.
this one is in the chakra and vagus nerve.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go here, you won't see the chart I just showed you, but if you go on their website, you will.
Okay.
And they have an interesting discussion of the chakras. I think it's worth studying. So that's where I went, which brought us to that page that I was showing you.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then would I have your permission to share this with other people, like in the women's circle that I'm in? Can I bring it and show it to them and share it?
Yeah. Any of these resources. I'm just giving my resources to the world. Take them, use them, copy them.
That's my feeling too.
Yeah. Yeah. What's to hold, you know?
Right. Thank you. I just wanted to check and make sure. Yeah.
I appreciate that. What we don't share is the confidential information anyone shares with us in the group, but anything I teach, anything in there that's, you know, a tool, enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's do our check-in. I have my clock.
Since we're asking technical things, how do you do that clock? Is that a special app or is that part of Zoom?
It's a Zoom app. Yeah.
Okay.
There's if you go down, well, no, it's not under apps.
Okay, I'll search for it. I just didn't know if it was separate or if it's under Zoom. I'll search for it because it's really cool.
It's
Yeah.
Much better for timing.
Yeah, because people can see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just objective like that. So
There's a whole lot of apps. I don't know about any of the others, but I've got a whole bar of apps on the side of my screen. I don't know if I can show you that. I leave this up. Nope, it moves. Never mind. I think you'll find it. Somewhere I saw to share. Share app screen. I'm not going to try that. I want to do timing. I want to do
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I see it on mine.
great.
No problem. Thanks.
So who would like to check in, and the next person get ready to check in right after him?
I can begin.
Okay.
It was a challenging week for me. Physically, I've been having some physical issues, so that distracted me from the work. And I am still struggling with finding the right words to describe my work. Even giving it a name for some reason. And so I'm still, for some reason, and I think I'm going to take my recorder with me, some reason, as I'm falling to sleep at night, all these great descriptions and words come to me. Okay, I'm going to remember that. That's fabulous. I wake up in the morning, it's gone. So I decided I'm going to start bringing my recorder with me and talk almost in my sleep to see if I could do that.
That's someone. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, yeah, I don't have a lot really to share right now. I feel like I'm playing catch up because of the week of dealing with physical things. So it's like I promised myself this morning at 9 o'clock, I would spend the next 3 hours working with everything we're doing so that when we got here, I'd be there. And then I had to go to the doctor, so that didn't happen. So here I am. I'm glad I'm here. And this is a joy for me. And thank you, Evelina.
So welcome.
Mhm.
Would you like some loving?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Mhm. Ah,
Thank you.
my best writings come at that time. So I have my recording there and I have paper. I wake
Okay.
up in the morning, I've got all these little hand scratches of things I thought of or recordings. Yeah,
Okay. So I'm going to start doing.
great. And who's next?
I'll go next if that's okay,
Yes.
simply because I'm on the train and I think we're about to take off. So I just wanted to check in with everyone. And my week was uneventful. That said, I felt like I was going through an emotional detoxification, I thought. And then just a lot of synchronicities. I'm sorry for the background noise. A lot of synchronicities have taken place. You know, one of them when we did the exercise and I stood up to do the exercise. I don't know, all of a sudden people started like gathering around me. I'm not sure what was going on there. So it became very distracting. And so I had to stop some of the motion. But the chakra system is something that I've been working on for years, and I've received lots of information on the 12 chakras. And so the meditation was spot on. I just wish I could have like been a lot more like fully focused in it. But I'm finding that these situations that come up with noise is just making me dive deeper into being very, very present. all in all, I'm enjoying the experience of just being alive and being in a human body and appreciating just everything and everyone.
Great.
That's it for now, and I'll take some sparkles, please.
All right. Hmm.
Thank you.
Juliet.
Well, I got back yesterday from Florida. I went to a celebration of life for a friend. So I've had 3 friends die in less than a year.
Mm.
So this is the 3rd one. So it was, I'm really happy I was there. It was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony, you know, celebration. And yeah, you know, I came back with just such a deep, I have such a deep appreciation for my life and what's happening in my life, and that I'm working on healing my body and bringing it into a alignment with its own light. My connection to earth is a lot stronger. I've been going through a lot of dizzying spells, but I know that that's transmissions. I just feel that it's all part of my body realigning. This morning I had a beautiful meditation where a chalice like a chalice was put in my heart while I was sitting in the chair, and that chalice was the Holy Grail, Mary Magdalene's Holy Grail of love that was put in my heart to hold. And I can use that chalice to feed my body and feed myself so that the love can emanate out. So it was really quite a beautiful experience, and I'm holding that in my space. Yeah, it's just I just am really open to however things are unfolding. And I was with my father during that period. I stayed at my dad's house. He just moved there. So that worked out really well. You know, it was like just all these things are happening that are showing the shifts in me and my ability to hold my own space. Yeah, which is just wonderful. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. And I will take sparkles.
Right.
Great. Thank you so much.
Who's next?
I can go next. Yeah, I feel stuck. My week, there's not too many events going on. And I think I shared before, I'm going through a breakup. And yeah, there was a moment that I was like, I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to sit and mourn, which was great. And yeah, today I went, I'm doing it every day. I'm going to the swimming pool, and I went to swim, and it was like, ugh, I feel so stuck from every aspect of my life. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that, but I'll take sparkles.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brooke?
I have also been feeling very stuck, and my apologies for not being here last week. I was kind of in the midst of the underworld, and I've just been feeling like a whole part of myself is dying. I've moved recently, and there's just been feel like I've just been in like tumultuous change, and there's a part of myself that just doesn't want to change. So it's been very difficult. But today I feel like I'm kind of coming out of it slowly but surely. And I just feel like I have a lot that I'm letting go of and trying to figure out how to walk my path in light of so many different paths. So today I just wish to be present and to receive and to just kind of anchor myself back into the dance of duality that I have been in. So thank you all. I will gladly take some sparkles as well.
That you're here. And even if you're in the underworld, any of you, come anyway. People can come feeling really in the underworld, really lost, really whatever, and you'll almost always feel better by the time you leave. At least you have company. So Jan, Jano.
Yeah, we can. Well, my cat's talking. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but it's a very full week that I had. Come here, come here. Jeez. Oh, I love the fact that Olivia's on a train. I love trains, and it just feels like I'm traveling with you, and especially on the East Coast and all. So reminds me also that I need to get my tickets for going to New York arranged. That's the thing that I find my life's very full and wonderful, and all these synchronicities are happening and all this support. And my to-do list is, as long as I kind of take a deep breath and just let it be, it's getting done. But that's kind of the challenge I have. And the main thing that I like to get done, that I put in my intentions, is my writing. So I have finished one submission to an anthology, and I probably in at least another hour of editing on the other submission to an anthology. So that'll be fun to get these 2 stories published. Well, you can either be picked up or not. And so the other thing I want to note is Sunday was the 10th anniversary of my mother's death, and the 5th anniversary of one of my best friend's deaths, who's died. She and her wife died within a year of each other, and so that was significant. So, and I'll take sparkles. You want sparkles, cat? Meow, meow. Thank you.
So I had quite a week getting ready for my Tantra cohort, this advanced group of Tantra practitioners that met on Saturday, which was the middle of our 9-month program. And I worked so hard to plan it, and then I didn't feel right about it. So I did a poll. They didn't like what I was planning. I mean, I offered like 32 choices, I think. So then I replanned it, and then something totally different happened. And the one part of my planning we did, which was an amazing shadow piece and ritual of transmuting the shadow. So that part worked well, but it was a very stressful week. And I think that's part of why this autoimmune thing kicked up again. And I have 3 places on my head. And the only way to treat it is scalding showers. So I've been doing scalding showers on my head, which I don't like. And it's part of why my hair looks like it does, because it's still wet. So I'm really puzzled about this because I haven't had an illness in 25 years, and this is not an illness. I haven't had a cold, I haven't had flu, nothing. So I'm going to work with another practitioner in California that I think can find out what the metabolic area is, because I think something got off really young that we can correct, and she's good at that. So that's my week. We'll take sparkles. Ah. Yummy. You should bottle that. We could make a lot of money. All right. So today we're going to connect in with ways of opening to these higher realms and connecting more with guides. And I know some of you do connect with your guides, and I think this will either deepen that connection, or you may even find, sometimes people find another being comes through, or there's kind of a sorting out of who you work with. So just be open to possibilities. First, I want to find my other glasses. There they are. I want to talk about the difference between psychic and channeling. So to me, psychic is more third eye and third chakra. And it's more like I'm getting a picture, I'm hearing a something, and then the person interprets it. And so it's allowing wisdom and knowledge to come in and kind of filtered through how your conscious mind or higher mind would interpret it. It's also very valid. Channeling is more crown chakra and heart. And to me, it feels riskier in a sense, because you just allow yourself to speak. And I often don't know what the next word's going to be. Of course, that's true when you're talking with friends. You don't usually know what else you're going to say. But it's surrendering of into the flow once you've used an invocation, which you always use an invocation to ensure you're calling in the beings you want to call in. So it's a relationship with your guidance and with being available to actually allow the channeling to come through you. It takes time to develop. Some people receive the information that from their guidance in the language of light. And the feminine beings, the feminine goddesses and bodhisattvas, they often give you information more in a holistic sense. And then you can ask them to speak it through you. But when I work with a feminine guide, sometimes I don't hear the words so much as something dawns upon me, an insight, a knowingness. It feeds me maybe through my kinesthetic body or my heart, rather than using the thinking mind. And if it's coming in that way, then you want to journal, because you'll often find that you know more of what you're receiving when you journal. You want to allow stages to develop. This all, the ability to work with guides grows over time. So give yourself the opportunity to allow it to grow. I know when I first started, I feel like they gave me a training guide. Her name was Priscilla. She and I had studied together in Greece, She was my teacher there. And she was very much a guide in my personal life. And then once I learned more of how to interact with guides, then I started working more with ascended masters. But it's kind of like training wheels sometimes first. So how many of you currently would say you channel? Kind of. Some, yeah.
Did you want an actual response or just wave of hands?
Wave of hands at the moment. Yeah.
Good.
Well, actually, how about you do share what you experience in channeling?
Well, I use it a little differently from the Mescalero Prakshi is it's more of a communication. So I'm in dialogue constantly. And usually it's kind of like if I had a friend who spoke a different language, then I'd be translating a bit. I can actually channel and let a being inhabit my body, but mostly it's all communication and talking just like I would talk to humans, only it's faster and funnier, more amusing, and yeah, so.
Anyone
I'm-
else?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if the work I do is channeling or just intuition. I don't think I know the difference between the two. I just know that when I call in to speak, with the spirit that I'm speaking to talks to me, and I relate that out. So I'm not sure if my training always was that channeling was dangerous, only use your intuition, because some people that channel, they bring in the wrong people. So that scared me. But I don't know. I think I do channel. I'm not sure which way to say, it'd be good to get a better feeling of what I'm really doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. Yvonne?
So I can say for me it's a little bit, I'm not sure how to call it, because I do it during medicine work, and I also do it in my private sessions. There's a way for me to move myself aside and just get instruction what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not like a dialogue. There's not like, oh, you know what? No, there was once I put something really strange. I got really strange, and I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I got some more information, but I'm not sure how to. It's not classic channeling, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, there's a message coming through.
Great. Brooke?
I don't know if this is channeling to some degree, but like being able to see patterns and obscure, but also like kind of putting together the puzzle of your day, which, some people call synchronicity. But I experience when I sit down and meditate, or it doesn't have to be then, but like it's a full, like I might see something visually, I might hear something, I might have a memory recalled or something. And so for me, it feels like I'm putting together a puzzle, and I'm going down into this like, I'm going down like a creative rabbit hole in a way to solve, or to be able to read the signs, and one sign will kind of lead to the next. And in that way, kind of like put it all together. But there are times that like where I will just have like a direct knowing of things or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Juliet?
So I do light language quite frequently, but I also channel. I'll be in a setting and all of a sudden somebody just comes in and starts talking through me or telling, it just comes really fast and it just comes out, and it can be mixed with light language. I can actually feel the connection in my body and the shift in my voice. And yeah, so it happens, but I would like to get better with the meditation part of being able to open to, knowing like you're actually, it's not just happening. It's like you're inviting it in. Like you said, you're inviting them in, like, stopping long enough to be quiet enough to invite them in, as opposed to I'm sitting in this, like a workshop and all of a sudden I'm channeling stuff out of me. It's like, okay, but I can usually what I channel is messages, and when I was in sessions working with people, I could see the whole pattern of their whole life. Like I could tell them the patterns I created from infancy or before birth, from the mother all the way through, and it would just come in. So yeah, so it's fun.
Beautiful. So I think to distinguish it's channeling or not channeling isn't quite what we want to do, because as I showed you last time, we have all these means of knowing, and some of what you're speaking about is allowing, you're accessing wisdom at a higher place in you. And I think whenever you have that sense of seeing the whole pattern of someone's life, that's kind of like spirit revealing things to you. And it's a collaborative relationship. It's not, it's us or it's you. It's sometimes, yes, it's them and me. Channeling is really an affair of now, the now really being so centered in now that you're available for spirit to speak through you. I think if you're in a workshop and the words start coming, I would just say highest truth, only highest truth, because I always feel you want to use an invocation. If you're going into channeling, use one like we do here. But even if you're getting information, you have a right to question it and to say, is this the highest truth? Often I'll say God's truth only God's truth. And that keeps it more aligned. The piece about channeling is dangerous is that some people will get into channeling and they lose the wisdom of always ensuring they're calling in the highest beings. And to me, I use that invocation every single time. And if I'm in a session and I start feeling like I'm getting information from guides, I will ask them, is this the highest truth? If I have a guide come in and I don't feel good about him, feels off, I'll challenge them to show me their light. And I have challenged Babaji hundreds of times. I've challenged Christ. I'll challenge any of them, Melchizedek. And they just go, thank you for taking care of yourself. If it's not a high being, not someone you'd really want to channel, they'll resist. So I had a time where I was in Austin, Texas at the riverbank at a concert, and this beautiful blue being came and kind of floated above me and said, I'd like you to go walk with me. I want to talk to you. It felt like a guide, and we walked for a bit, but it was very interested in my sexuality. And I went, something feels off here. And I said, show me your light. And the being said, oh, you don't need that. You can trust me. You can see what a beautiful being I am. Show me your light. Oh, that's not necessary. Yes, it is. Show me your light or get out of here. And then I call the goddess Kali to clear the being out. So when you open, you want to be sure that you create a sacred sacred container around you, and that you always know that you have a right to question. As soon as you find yourself channeling, very often your conscious mind will say, how do you know that's not just me? How do you know that's guidance? And I just don't fight with it. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if it matters. I'm very wise and I want to listen. Because the conscious mind and the ego, especially the ego, its job is to take anything that's happening, compare it to the past, predict the future, and restore status quo. So I want to ask my ego to be to step aside. That's where I give it a pillow somewhere and ask it to take notes. And when I start to channel and I use the invocation, I have this feeling of my small self just sitting in my heart and expanding into my multidimensional self on good days. On days when I'm not so clear, I just say, okay, Council of 12, I use my invocation and I'll say, you need to channel me today. I'm not sure I can. And they've gotten really good at channeling me. You wouldn't know the difference. But it's usually I'm expanding into my higher consciousness. They say that I sit on the council, so it's like I'm moving up to being able to be there. Sometimes I like to place my mind on the altar of change so that the quiet voice of spirit can enter. Because it's like a still small voice. And if you're channeling to yourself, it may feel like you're thinking to yourself, but it's quieter and often more expansive. And one of you said, I think Juliet, you said your voice changes. I often find that the voice gets more resonant for me. Some people have a whole different voice, different accent or something. I think that's either more where they're taking the being completely into their body, which I rarely do, or they feel they need to have that affect to sound like they're channeling. I'm not sure which. I think it differs with people. So I'm allowing the beings into my heart and upper chakras, but I don't fully embody them, except for Aphrodite. Aphrodite loves to come and sit and just have her cup of tea, have a little coffee clutch with people, and she loves being fully embodied. So we do it that way. And she always leaves. So, and that's the other piece. When I do the closing, I'm literally calling them out of my body. I'm closing with them as well, so that you open sacred space and you close. And that's part of how you create the safety. The other thing about true high beings, I only channel causal level beings or ascended masters. I really want to channel the highest beings, and they're way less likely to tell you what to do. They don't need to run your life. They say, if I wanted a life, I'd get one. They don't feel a need for anything to change in our lives because they totally accept we are who we are. And they offer wisdom that when you ask, they only offer when they ask. And they want you to feel this sense of collaboration, of we're working together here, not you're there and I'm here with all the truth, but how can the guide open you to your truth, which is what they're really wanting. And they don't need us to change, so that it's like they don't have an agenda except what we give them. There's rare exceptions to this. If there's safety involved, I remember once driving around, getting on the freeway, and I was coming around this corner and I heard, slow down right now. So I slowed down and I slow down. And I came on around the corner and there was water running across the road. So in those situations, they can be pretty adamant. I really encourage you, as we practice this, to let go of comparing. What the mind does when it compares is it takes your short suit and compares it to someone's long suit. You know, it rarely goes what you're really good at and compares it to other people who aren't, although the ego might do that. But it's usually you're looking at something where somebody's a little further along than you and putting yourself down. I want to encourage you to allow beginner's mind so that you get to develop this for yourself, and your way will be different from everyone else's. And that comparing, that keeps the mind in control. You want to step out of your mind. I have a friend who has a song, lose your mind and come to your senses. So it's allowing all these other means of knowing to evolve. So in this, as we work with we're going to, sometimes 3 sentences arrive in my mouth at the same time and they all clash. Traffic jam. We'll do a meditation of meeting the guides, working with them, increasing the connection. Before we do that, I'd love to ask, what do you imagine blocks you or is in the way of receiving your guidance? Or do you feel, I'm wide open? Let's notice. Juliet?
So I think for me, because I grew up being busy, like we had to be productive and perform and, be successful and busy. And I think that if it's anything, it's this process that I've been in my life to slow down so I can actually hear. Because when you're busy, you can't hear. And if you're so used to having a to-do list and do this and got to get this done, so that's really what it is. It's that as I'm learning gradually, because I had to become safe in my own body to be able to do that, right? And so it's becoming safe in your body, slowing down enough to be able to hear.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Getting into now.
Yeah, exactly. That was well said when you said that. It's true. And if you're not used to being in now because you're always there or over there where the past was, what did I do and what I got to do? You're not today. You're not here.
That's right.
That's really what this is all about. The cancer, everything is about. How do you be here?
Mhm.
How do you be just here? Yeah.
How do you just be?
Yeah. Just be. It's like, that's it.
Yep.
Just, yeah.
Ram Dass had it. Be here now. Yep.
I think for me, it's similar as as a descendant of immigrants. There's a sense of having to do it on my own and not being very practiced at receiving. So my guides and friends work a lot with receiving, and that's what my last week was just about. I had so many joyful events that just happened, and a lot of it is just practicing receiving. So I know that I would get more the more I was open and felt. I think deserving comes into it, and there's some cultural message about that, independent and, doing it on your own is better. And so that's what I think stops me a lot.
Uh-huh. Beautiful. So more permission for receiving and to me, the collaboration with guides is still doing it from my power because they're not taking over.
Mhm.
This is something I think a lot of people I see with working with guides is they give their power away, and the guides don't want our power. I know a woman who said, my guides told me I have to live in this place and it doesn't have any windows and I don't like it and I don't want to be here, but they told me I had to be here. Well, maybe that's what they told you, but maybe so that you would get clear that you've got to decide to live where you're comfortable. You see, not everything that they say is an instruction that you have to follow. Sometimes it supports decisions. I'll give you another example. I channeled to a couple once who came in and they said, well, we're pregnant and we want to know if it's a boy or a girl, but we know it's a girl and we've already got her name and we've got clothes for her and we have so many ideas of how wonderful it's going to be to have this daughter. And we're very excited about it, but we just wanted to check and be sure. The council told him it was a boy. And I knew when they did that it probably wasn't. But the next sentence was, well, you're going to be surprised. It's a boy. And it's a good thing because you've got this girl's life completely planned out. You already know who you want her to be, and you've already got all these definitions for her. So please don't do that with this boy. Let him come in and be his own self. So they went away going, I think it's a girl, but we need to cool it. So sometimes the words aren't exactly what people want to hear, but they're what they need to hear in order to spark a decision or maybe some more self-reliance. Siobhan?
Yeah, for me, you asked about what's standing in my way. And I noticing there's a deep sense of distrust from a very deep mother wound that I carry for all my life, basically. There was some kind of a resonance between what was happening in between the words. And yeah, so I need to believe.
Yeah. So you can invite the guides that you call in with an invocation to help you learn to trust. You can say, I would love to trust more. I ask that you help me dissolve whatever's in the way of healthy trusting. Again, not turning over power, but healthy trusting. Also, if you can't hear well, you ask, I want, there it goes again. I ask that you increase my capacity to hear. Help me be able to receive what you're saying, because they can work on it from their side with your permission. Okay, you ready for the meditation?
Yeah.
So,
We have a few minute bio break, just a bio break for a second.
sure. Go for it. Anyone else need one?
Take
Okay.
a quick
Let's take a quick bio break. I'll do it too. Okay. Is everyone back? Great. So let's get ready to go inside. Let yourself ground. Maybe feel that eighth chakra beneath you, all your chakras grounded. Calling in your light, let it spiral down your center. Asking the angels and archangels to encompass you in a chrysalis of radiant light. And ask for the highest, most radiant guides, most connected to the heart of the divine, to come and be with you. The highest, most radiant guides, most connected to the heart of the divine, to come and be with you. And breathe. Going into stillness. Letting your light spiral into your heart. Feel the spark of your own divinity there. So you're listening, receiving from these guides from your heart. And as you're receiving, invite them to share whatever messages they wish to share with you. And surrender into that guidance. Maybe with a request of help me hear you. Me receive at a deeper level. And allow, letting go of effort, allow. What is the felt sense? Asking these high radiant beings, please reveal yourself to me in ways I can know, I can feel you. Open my psyche to you. Asking for what you want. Please open my third eye, my intuitive centers. I desire more access to higher realms. Accept what you're experiencing. Continuing to breathe. Return to now. If you're receiving well, ask any questions you wish. And if it's a little more challenging, ask, what will help me hear you? Open the pathways, please. Might ask, how can I best work with you? If anything feels off, say again, I ask for the highest, clearest, most radiant guidance. Or ask, is this the highest truth? Notice the felt sense of the guidance with you. Maybe familiar, maybe new. Acknowledging what you're receiving. Letting go of doubt. Letting go of the mind. Receiving from the heart. You'd like, you might do some journaling about what you're receiving. And sometimes when you sit with guides, if you start writing, more will come through. See how that feels. To write the guidance they have for you. And you might ask, what's the most important wisdom I need for moving forward in my life? And how can I enhance my capacity to channel? And then thanking your guidance. Does anyone need more time here? Thanking your guidance and letting them know that we're going to call in the Council of 12 and then we'll practice some channeling. This is normally where we take our break. Does anyone need a break before we call them in? Okay. If you do at some point in the next hour and a half, just say so and we'll take another moment. All right, so you ready for them?
Mhm.
Yes. Good. So breathing and grounding, centering even deeper in yourself as we ask the angels and archangels to create a crystalline temple of radiant energy around this work, cleansing and clearing from around any of us, any energies not of the light, and weaving for each of us our own chrysalis of radiant light, filled with the rays and vibrations needed by each person here. I ask God, Goddess, source of all that is, encompass us completely in your light so that only beings serving love, light, and truth may participate in any way. Deepest healing, highest guidance is received. Calling in each of you the radiant heart of your soul, most aligned with the heart of the divine, and ask it to guide your process here with channeling, helping you release all that needs to be released and receive all that serves. I welcome into this sacred temple of light, the Council of 12, and I welcome those beings who are truly radiant guides aligned with the heart of the divine for anyone here. Greetings, dear ones. We greet you, we bless you. We're honored to be with you. It's always a joy. We wish to share just taking note of Evelina's process as she shifts to allow channeling, is first the invocation helps her deepen. And then there's a moment of just deepening, releasing, and opening and allowing. So it's like the small self settles in. What you think of as your normal self, as if anything's normal, that self settles in, and then your consciousness can expand to include the guidance coming through you. So it is, in a sense, putting yourself aside, although we think tucking yourself in the center is a good place. And it's also becoming multidimensional so that you're able to be you and the guidance speaking through you. For Evelina, it's often looking up into the quantum realm. So when you go high enough in your consciousness, you get to that God force, you get to the quantum level. And when you just imagine opening to that, you're in a great place to channel. If you're contained within the 7 chakras, you probably won't channel. You can do psychic work there. You open the crown, you're opening the intuitive mind. So you can do intuitive work, psychic work, and that opens you to channeling. But the real fun of it, where it really gets exciting, is opening to these other levels, these other planes of existence within your being, because it's more like what would that be on that chart you were showing, the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th chakras, where channeling occurs. And so it feels like an expansion and a settling in of ordinary self, expansion into transpersonal beingness. So we'd love to hear what your experiences were like in tuning in just now. What did you learn? What did you notice?
The first thing that came was, it felt like the spirits were joking around and having fun. And when I questioned that, they said, you're way too serious. Come on, it's time for some joy. You want to have joy. You want to laugh. We want to laugh with you. It's time to laugh.
Uh-huh.
And I went, oh, okay, that feels really good. I mean, there was just this sense of, I don't know, speaking. And I said, so let me know that I hear you. And they said, of course you hear me. You're talking to me right now. You hear me. It was like, okay. This is okay. This is so different than my intuitive voice. It's just coming from a whole different place than my intuitive voice. And then I asked, so what happens now if I'm going to work with somebody? I usually work with my intuitive voice, and now I feel you here, and I feel the intuitive voice here. And they said, that's fine. You could work with both. We're both here together. Neither one of us needs to live for the other. And when I said hello to my intuitive voice, and it said hello back, it said, I'm fine. This is great. Let's all work together. So I felt that was very powerful, very interesting.
Beautiful.
And yeah, this is very new for me. And thank you, Evelina, for opening, for even showing me that 12th chakra and bringing this in. It's like, wow. That's a wow.
It's a wow. Beautiful.
It is different. Yeah. And yeah, one of the things when they were saying, have more fun, you always look, I have a statue of a Buddha smiling. And I always think, I want to smile like that all the time. And they were saying, yeah, it's time for you to do that. It's time for you to smile all the time and to find that joy.
Mhm.
That was great.
Beautiful, beautiful. Interestingly, feels as if the guide wanted you to feel how different it was
Yeah.
by speaking something you wouldn't say to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you asked me to ask it a question. And the question was, they came up with the song, You Are So Beautiful, which really brought tears to my eyes. It was like, okay. And it was like a song, You Are So Beautiful to Us.
Mhm.
No, yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Yes, you're all so beautiful
yeah.
to us. We admire any soul that goes to an incarnation on a third dimensional planet. And from here, it's just, you're beautiful because we see your soul essence.
I found myself at first questioning when you said you do an incarnation to bring them in. I'm thinking, am I doing one? What is it? Do I need special words? How do I do that? How do I have
Invocation.
yeah, invocation.
Yeah. So we just did an invocation Evelina did before calling us in. So it's on the recording.
And that's it. That is.
That's a great invocation, and that opens the Akashic records.
Okay. Thank you.
So something of that sort, and asking the angels to cleanse and clear all energies not of the light. So it's grounding, centering, and then calling in. We like to call in the angels to clear the space. And then we like to invite God, Goddess, all that is, to envelop everyone involved in their light so completely that only beings of light may participate. And then inviting the person to call in their higher essence. Sometimes people's higher selves are a little polluted because of stuff that's happened from other lifetimes. So we like to call in the radiant heart of the soul, most aligned with the heart of the divine. And then you always get pure essence. And then welcoming in the guides and asking for the highest, brightest, most radiant beings of light. Yeah, that's an invocation. You can create your own, but always those are the elements of cleansing and clearing, grounding, calling in, asking for protection, and ensuring who you're calling in. Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else want to share your experience? Brooke?
Well, it was
Yeah,
interesting.
and then Brooke.
Oh, sorry, Brooke, I didn't see you raise your hand. Well, it was very interesting because it's a lot easier for me to channel when it's for other people because it sort of happens and comes through. But for me, so I sat there and I didn't see anybody or talk to anybody or anything happen. I just sat there. But what I got was, this is exactly what I need to be doing, is they need to know you're going to meet them halfway. And it's like me taking like I got like start with 5 minutes. It's the only thing I figured, where you just do that instead of thinking they're going to just come to you whenever because that's what would happen. It would just come when I was doing something and it would just come through and I'd be like, oh, okay, do light language, do whatever. But if it's going to be for me where I want to be an active participant, going to them and asking, then I need to be like it talked about being quiet, and just, setting the stage and then being here and just waiting without going anywhere. What's good, I notice though, is that I'm finally able to be here without my mind going. So I think that's the progress, it's that I'm noticing that I'm more here now in the body and my mind isn't like, And so that's going to set the stage for, more, okay, stay here, just be here and allow, and just no expectations, no like, oh, they didn't show up, just let it be what it is that day, every day, and then just let it see how it evolves, and just don't have an attachment to the outcome.
That's right.
Yeah, because it'll be whatever it is. And so it was good you said about not comparing, because and even me talking about it, I'd be like, oh, but it's like, that's what happened today. But there is definitely a shift. And, I'm here because this is why I'm here, is because I'm opening to a different aspect of myself, and allowing it be for me, because it was easy to be for everybody else, but very hard to be for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. And that being does open the space. That's the key.
Mhm.
Yeah. Brooke?
What I experienced in the meditation, it took a little bit longer for me to kind of settle into it and notice that my mind and just like some persistent thoughts needed to kind of surrender and let go, so that I could kind of get into that space that's it always just kind of feels like a haze, like right here.
Mhm.
It's really soft and peaceful still, but in that space, I had a being visit me who was of, I wish I could describe the blue, like almost sky blue, but more like fae like. And I started kind of seeing little bits and pieces. She said her name was Sarahwin, and her presence was very cooling and soft. And I think what the experience was showing me was letting go of layers of doubt that usually when I create space in this way and ask for whatever is kind of needed, it's like it comes, and it's all the times I just feel like I see bits and pieces of things instead of the full picture. But when I ask kind of like what the wisdom I need to know right now is spaciousness, so that I can kind of move more in those unseen realms and be able to feel more and see more.
Mhm.
And then being able to nurture my vessel, being able to hold more light and hold more space.
Beautiful.
Lastly, I looked up the name Sarahwin, and she is a Celtic Welsh mythology goddess, and she's a powerful underworld goddess and the keeper of the inspiration and rebirth. She ruled the realm of death, fertility, regeneration, inspiration, magic, enchantment, and knowledge. She's a shape-shifting goddess able to take on various forms, known as being a white witch or goddess associated with herbology and astrology, which I thought was just very fitting for the season of life that I'm going through and starting to study a lot more of the Avalon mysteries.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Ah. She looks very, very happy to be received by you. Like this is the renewing of a very old relationship that wants to bless you and be there for you. Yeah.
Felt like a guide from my ancestors almost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you. Siobhan?
Yeah, I'm not sure even what happened. I was asking for guidance, and I was there and not there.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't listen to anything. I was like it reminded me I had this way of a defense mechanism when I was working. It was a long time ago, and I would start to work on something hard, and I would shut down completely. I would fall asleep or something like that, and it really felt like that. And right now, you did it. I did a check-in to see if the guides are here, and they are here. I can feel them, but I'm not sure how to approach the whole thing. So I'm asking.
Okay. So you might have a conversation with the part of you that thinks it needs to shut down. That every behavior is for some purpose.
Mhm.
So how's it trying to help by shutting down?
I know in the past that that was a specific defense mechanism. I don't want to go to painful places, so I'm shutting down.
Uh-huh. So very often the parts of us, and usually a younger part, that runs a coping mechanism, they don't know what's safe out there. They just know big change, shut down. So it becomes almost like an automatic response because they're not aware, because they're probably not in current time. So see if you can get in touch with that part and go, thank you for learning how to shut me down so well. You're really, really good at it. And even in the presence of guides, you're able to shut me down. So I just want to admire you, how good you are at this. Because you approach it with love and admiration, because when you were young, that was probably absolutely necessary.
Mhm.
And then you might want to say, this is different. This is something that I, as an adult, want to develop a relationship with guidance. And it's not mother. And I'm really careful who I ask. They're wise beings. So I'd like to ask that you allow this, not shut me down around this. And for now, allow me to guide here, because I'm the adult and I know what I'm doing. What happens inside with that?
I can feel some contraction in my stomach, the upper part of my stomach, and that's the place that usually is the resisting.
Mm-hmm. So ask the part that's contracting, what do you need?
Need to feel safe.
Good.
Needs to know that I'm not doing something stupid.
Yeah. So can you reassure that part? Here I am surrounded by angels and beings of light. I know I'm safe. He wants to know that you know how to create safety if it's going to trust, letting you open. And maybe even to say, that's why I'm here studying, so I can learn how to do this safely. We have guidance here to do it safely.
Definitely, this is one part that I was really looking forward to do that.
Yeah.
Channeling.
Yeah. So ask that part if it would like to come and be in your heart. And ask Divine Mother, whomever you feel trusting of, to bring that part through space and time. They get to come into current time, through space and time, all the way from your belly into your heart and all the way from past into now. Let it feel the beautiful light there in that sanctuary in your heart. And if it would like, Divine Mother can be there to hold it. It can be held by Divine Mother while you're enjoying this process. Would it like that?
Yes. Yes.
Good. So letting Divine Mother hold that one. And letting it know, I know what I'm doing here and I'm learning, I'm growing. So you get to relax and be a kid. About how old is it?
5.
Yeah. So, 5-year-olds have to work hard when they're around adults that don't know what they're doing. But now you're in the heart of your own adult. And I've gotten really wise. I've learned a lot and I'll keep learning. So it's safe for you to be 5 and just play and rest. I got this. How's that feel?
Good. Yeah. It's a practice that I'm already been doing for some time
Yeah.
to
good.
bring that kid into to my heart.
Yeah. Good. Well, the piece we feel to add to the practice is to have Divine Mother bring that child through space and time. Because when you really get him into now, then he doesn't need to do these old jobs because he knows that there's no danger. Yeah. Great. So let's shift to practicing channeling. So someone here can pose an inquiry, question of any kind, and we'll take time for people to tune in and see what Spirit wants to speak through them. And then we can offer you some mentoring about your channeling. So who has an inquiry, a question you want to ask?
I'll throw this out here.
Okay.
Okay, so I find pickleball to be an excellent embodied practice of being aware, and I have several guides who like to play it with me. I'm wondering if there's any advice on how I can incorporate that even more while I'm playing. And I'm around people who don't know that I'm doing it, obviously, or not obviously, that they don't. So
How you can incorporate being with your guidance, playing with your guidance while you're playing.
yeah, doing and also just do it safely. So I've been careful with a knee injury. And usually when I play, I can channel and I have no pain at all. But just to throw that in, that's part of why I play while other beings are with me, because then that helps my body. So
Good. So everyone tune in. Really ground and center. Let yourself come into your heart chakra and open into the higher dimensions, calling in the highest, clearest guidance. When you're ready to speak, unmute and speak. Juliet?
There need not be no separation between you and the guides. You can act as the guides as one, because the guides are there for you to be understood what they are saying to you, but you do not need to be separate from that. You can have that conversation at the same time that you play, because they are with you always. You do not need to do anything other than just listen to what they have to say and allow that to come in and allow that to then be expressed through the body. The body will know what to do with that. So there is no separation. We hope that is helpful to you.
Thank you. Seemed to flow through very easily. Yeah. So then we like to check in. How does that land, Jano?
Definitely. No, I like that separation. I was just actually talking to one of the people I work with about separation and all. I didn't understand the last part, what language that was.
That was light language.
Okay.
It was a blessing.
Okay.
Great. Good. So that felt like you just dropped right in, Juliet. Beautiful. Who else feels something wanting to come through? Siobhan?
Very short. Don't think, just be.
Mm-hmm.
Saw an image of a Polaroid picture in square and interpreting what Juliet also said. It felt like being careful not to separate, to not too far separate yourself from the guides and the images and the things that you're receiving. That that those pictures and whatnot that are happening right here are something to use as a tool and as something to be able to communicate, but to not get lost in the separation of the picture, of the vision and whatnot, to merge with it, but not be able to get stuck in it.
And what was the image you said?
Polaroid picture, like whatever you are, it seemed like it was a tool of communication with, I don't know, this pickleball thing and the visions and whatever. I'm not quite sure fully what it all means, but that's kind of what I saw and what I interpret.
Mm-hmm.
But that reminds me, actually, I have people film me, and that helps a lot to be able to see what I'm doing. So that actually reminded me that I haven't had people take pictures recently. So that was actually very helpful because I forget to do that. And so yeah, the pictures have been incredibly helpful.
Beautiful. So sometimes one doesn't know why something comes through. And we would say, Brooke, that it's on the edge of psychic because you get an image, then you're wanting to interpret it. What takes it into channeling is, okay, speak through me about what that image means. You see?
Hard to sometimes get into the channeling part because my mind has a way of like judging what I'm saying. And so there's a surrender and practice, I think, coming into play in that way. So thank you.
You're welcome. And you and your mind can evolve a way of just asking it to be still. The mind wants to serve. So you can say, the way you can serve me right now, you're so good, mind. You're such a good servant. And the way you can serve me right now is to be still and allow me to have this spiritual experience and take notes. We'll talk about it later. So now it's got an assignment. Because for a mind to just stop is really, really challenging, the small mind. But to give an assignment, that makes it easier. And the way you've offered that is also valuable. The psychic work, the psychic version is valuable. And you want to also give yourself permission to just drop in and let the interpretation come through. And if your mind says, well, how do you know if it's right? I don't. It doesn't matter. I just want to practice. You see, that's allowing the beginner's mind that you get to practice. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
And that was pretty funny. I mean, obviously, you know, it's a Council of 12, that message you were giving me about the serving, because I'm practicing my serve. And the mind, you know, watches the videos, and that gave me some good information about practicing my serve, because the whole serving. So thanks. And we lost I'm forgetting her name, but she just dropped out.
Marie just dropped out, and I think that Olivia on the train probably went out of
Yeah.
range somehow,
Mm-hmm.
because she seemed to be on her phone moving, but now she's gone. So
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
beautiful.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, so let's have
I'm gonna go. I need to go take a bio break. I'll be right back.
Okay. Anyone else need a bio break? Okay. So, who has an inquiry? Brooke?
I'm not quite sure how to put this into words. But I'm kind of like looking for like an anchor or like a guiding guidepost as I kind of come out of this like underworld type of thing. Like, what do I need to set my energy and awareness and focus towards? What am I leaving behind? What am I being asked to really step into, and just kind of like life direction as this like transformation is happening.
Okay. Welcome back, Marie.
My computer shut down, sorry.
Oh, so what we're doing is someone is asking an inquiry, and
Yes.
then everyone tuning in to channel to it. So would you, Brooke, be willing to restate your inquiry?
Yes, I'm looking for guidance in this transformational part of my life, what I'm letting go of and what I'm stepping into, and what I can really kind of ground into through this process of transformation that is unfolding.
Okay.
Thank-
So everyone tune in. Janelle, were you able to hear the question? You're muted.
Something about guidance on, but I didn't. So
Through this life, really letting go of the past and stepping into this new chapter. Transformation more so, and guiding light.
Okay. So tuning in, and your mind doesn't know how to answer this, so ask it to be still. Tuning into your heart, letting your mind, conscious mind know, I want to allow channeling to come through me. So let's be still and open. Imagine opening into your being what wants to get spoken through you. When you're ready, unmute and speak.
You are learning how to come into yourself you are allowing yourself to open to new parts of you that you did not understand were available to you because of all the things that were surrounding you on the outside, kept you from seeing the things that are on the inside that are now coming forth. As you step back from these things and they fall away, you will then start to own the deep talent that you have and the deep soul plan that you have within your being that is being shown to you in many ways. But you are still a little nervous about these things. You're a little nervous about what is being shown, like, is this me? Is this me? But you will eventually find a way to have this be me because it is you. And as you release all these things around you, you will then step into that place that is you and know it is as you. And then you will be comfortable in that space and no longer having to fear who you are underneath all of these things. We hope that is of help to you.
Tuning in, Brooke. How does that land?
Felt like felt like an urgent message into kind of my psyche, because that does resonate very well with. This is the first time I've had like 2 weeks off and I don't know how long, so a lot of things are just like slowing down.
Oh.
And there's I feel like my psyche is just swirling around a lot and questioning a lot of things and realizing a lot of things are dying and like not knowing what's on the other side of that. It resonated a lot, and really kind of building a safe space to fully bloom and come out of.
Beautiful. It felt right on. Yeah. So thank you, Marie.
It seems like there's a way in which you're looking backwards. You haven't turned around yet and looked forward. You still seem to be accessing or looking at what you've done or who you think you are. And we would like you just to turn around spiritually and have your spirit moving straight forward. It's almost like it's time to close a door, because the past is insignificant. It has no meaning right now to the gifts you're being given and the work you will be doing. And it's all forward, and it's stepping into the forward motion.
How does that land?
It lands. There's a lot of anxiousness there, and like just feel like I'm like shedding.
You are.
These gifts and whatnot, like I know them, but I don't know them, and so it feels really scary.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I just feel like I'm moving a lot of energy in a way.
Would you say that last again? It cut out a little.
Feel safe in my body.
Uh-huh.
I'm moving a lot of energy, and I'm trying to just feel safe in my body because the things that you guys are saying are resonating. Just feels kind of just like I just want to get it off. Not the things that you're saying, but just the things that have been holding me back.
Yeah. So maybe just do that. Go ahead and shed. It's a time of great shedding for most people. Yeah. And Marie, that felt like it just flowed through you. How was it for you?
That was pretty amazing, because that's the way it felt. I didn't even know what I was going to say when I raised my hand. It
Yeah.
was, the words just were right there.
There it
With-
says. Yeah,
That was, that's truly a blessing. Thank you.
it really is. When you really drop into channeling, it does you. It's beyond you.
It
Yeah.
was. There was no question in
Mm.
me. Is it right? Is it wrong? Should I say it?
Yeah.
It just was.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jivan.
Trust yourself. Slow down. Listen very carefully. You know what is true.
So when you wrote that, did it feel?
Yeah.
Channeled? Yeah. It's kind of strange here because you can't just immediately speak sometimes with somebody else is, but yeah. So that felt like it just dropped in.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that felt not, for me, it feels natural because it's like, that's how I work with my clients.
Uh-huh.
That's an easy one.
The words or the way that you brought through that information.
To get the information.
Yeah. Great. Good. How's that land, Brooke?
It's very well. I think it helps simplify the chaos that is going on.
Hmm. Beautiful. Good. Hmm.
Are you ready for more?
It's asking you, Brooke. You ready to hear?
Yeah. What I got is more of a picture and image, and this sense of guides saying we'd really like it to talk to her directly and to be there. And I could feel this in my heart, so much love from the spirits and the guides for you, that it brought tears to my eyes, which is one of the ways I know that I'm channeling and connecting is when I tear up. And I just saw this this group of animals and trees and beings coming and surrounding you. And at first I felt like a cat weaving in and out, around your legs, how they purr, but then it felt like that was more me. And so as I let it grow, actually it became more of a lion. That there's a lion that wants to walk with you, and a giraffe to see high, and then this deep ancient woods, that there's this path that is there for you, that all these guides are taking you on, that's very sacred and very beautiful, and that they're all there for you. And there was like a whale, as I mean, it's with images, it doesn't all make perfect sense, that a lion and a whale are together in this woods, but they're just hawks and so much, and the nature and the grass and the trees is all there to help you on your journey.
Hmm. How does that land?
Provides a lot of great insight into kind of what I think I have been walking towards, and reconnecting people back to their roots and back to the sacred cycle of life itself. So I thought that was all of the different aspects of nature that want to walk along this path with me. Thank you.
And a lot of support. Yeah, just feel that. all that support around you. Good. So we'd like to add that welcome back, Olivia. We'd like to add, Brooke, that we know you're coming through this big Saturn transit, and that always is a deconstruction of the old and letting it go because it wants to build the new. And there are parts that may be very afraid about the letting go and the shedding, but we think of it as love making room for itself. So the being you're becoming when you walk forward, like Marie's guidance was saying, the being you're becoming is, you might say, evolving into the space of what's shed. So it goes away, you let it go, so this can be born. And we would say on this planet right now, dying to the old is the theme. It is the theme. There's so much of the old that everyone needs to die to. And it feels really frightening. And yet when you do, it feels so good. So it's really allowing yourself to know that the more you let what's not self or not real in current time, you die to that, the more the room there is for who you're becoming to take up that space. And it feels like some of what's falling away, Brooke, is the chrysalis that the butterfly doesn't need.
I think it's also just like the protection.
Say it louder, please. It's also like,
The protection that I've been keeping myself in. It's kept
Yeah.
me safe. And when you're asleep, you're kind of in a cocoon, and waking up out of that. It's
Yeah.
just like
letting go of the need for the cocoon. Yeah. Someone once gave Evelina a poster. She was leaving a lover, moving away because it was just important to do her next phase in another city. She got this poster that says, ships in the harbor are safe, but that's not what ships are built for. So eventually you leave the harbor and you go, oh, open ocean. Okay. Because that's what you're created for. Yeah.
it was like uncharted territory entirely.
Mm-hmm. Mary?
With what you're saying, what came through for me is for you to know that you are so safe and to trust that we are there protecting you. And right now in your new journey, you are so safe, and to trust that. Thank you.
Beautiful. You are safe. You have all these guides saying, we'll work with you. And giraffe and whale and lion and nature in your woods. And when you can sense yourself in that more vast framework, then safety is. Does this feel complete?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So Olivia, what we're doing is practicing channeling. And so one person has an inquiry, then everyone drops in, checks in, ground centers, and we see what wants to get channeled through people. Okay. And then once you channel, you check in with the person who asked. So you get feedback on it from that, and sometimes feedback from the council.
Thank you. Sorry, I got interrupted there and I'm traveling, but during the meditation, I actually felt as if I were going into a trance until something jolted me and said, hey, your stop is coming up. Get out, get out of this right now. Otherwise you'll be gone.
Uh-huh.
I stopped. So I did want to share that as we were meditating, one of the things that came through, and this is where sometimes I wonder if it is channeling or if it's just my intuition, where the message was about how we perceive, how our perceptions can fall into the category of negative or positive based on preferences, and that if we were to reframe, for instance, experiences that are not pleasant, and by finding a neutral position with it, not being repulsed or pushing back, you know, kind of resisting it. Although I was also told that resistance, there's a lot of information when one is resisting. There's a lot of undelivered, I guess, messages that are not being received. And that's what was coming through. And I just wanted to share that with the group. It was, to me, it kind of like shifted a little bit of something inside of me by just thinking about how we can easily reframe, and it's a choice. It's the choice to be in the frequency of love or the frequency of fear. But sometimes we just allow ourselves to default to the frequency of fear because it is part of the human experience for now, anyway.
And it's an old neuronal pathway. It's kind of like the mind knows how to go there, and it takes vigilance and training to get it to default to thinking in the love frame instead. So that's a practice to build that in. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I have a question, if I may. I apologize, first of all, for not being present.
Right.
But I guess my question would be, I do intellectualize things a lot, so I stay in my mind a lot. But I've been putting into practice, you know, coming from the heart and being from the heart. And when you suggested that channeling was the opening, I believe, of the crown chakra together with the heart, I'm not certain that I'm doing that. So I'm putting that into question. I do know that when I channel, sometimes it will feel as though there's a greater voice of wisdom that sometimes really surprises me, because it's generally not the way I would speak. And without such, you know, profound wisdom on top of that. So I know that it's coming from a higher place. But there are times that I feel I am channeling, but it doesn't feel like channeling. So I guess my question is, are we constantly in a state maybe of channeling?
That's a good question.
Are you, because we're asking about you, right? So are you in a constant state of channeling? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone tune in. Feel your grounding. Look up into your third eye, into your being. Let your light bring you into your heart, your center, and asking for the highest, clearest guidance to come through. And when you're ready, unmute and speak.
Well, I could feel right away that you have your own answers. You started to ask a question, and then you answered it, and then you came back with another question. So it's that doubting that the mind doubts so much, and so it's trusting and finding out the wounding that has for me that. Well, I just talk that that the kid inside you. I just getting that unfortunately, I feel a lot of pain that she was doubted, and to love her and tell her how brilliant she is. That kid in you has always been brilliant, but the doubting and the disbelief in society and the devaluing really harmed her. And to trust, you do have the answers, you do have this brilliance that can come through, and to just reassure her, and then it'll be easier to hear your own wisdom when she feels safe to say what's really true.
Good. So we noticed, Jano, that you were channeling and self got in. There was a little of wanting to take that place. Then it felt like you got back into the flow of the channeling. Does that seem?
Yeah, part of me felt like it was coming through so personal that I'm not used to doing this in front of others. So I felt a little self-conscious that I don't have a relationship with Olivia and permission to like bring up or know stuff about your past. So I didn't want to say things too specifically. So I stopped myself, and then I just brought it through more general. And I'm sure you know what I'm referring to, what the guides are saying. So
I absolutely did. I mean, without you even going into details, I felt it in my heart, Jeno. I knew you knew exactly whatever traumas I experienced. I felt you really like dove into it. And then I think, like Evelina said, you pulled back a little bit, but I sensed also you felt the pain of that little girl, and that's very true. Very yeah. And to your point, I had an experience, and I'll just make this short, an experience with other beings, water beings. When I was smaller, people call them mermaids. They don't really look like the Disney characters, by the way. Although the Disney characters are very lovely, but when I expressed that, I was told that I was crazy and that I would be institutionalized, and that, yeah, just the word crazy really bothers me, even to this day. Just really, it makes me feel like don't speak, don't talk, because people will think that you're insane or something.
Limited people.
That's actually what I like about being a licensed psychotherapist, is I can affirm that I'm not crazy for hearing voices. And I use that a lot,
So let's stay in the channeling mode, because
Yeah.
some people are still tuning in. So tuning in both for the question that Olivia asked and also maybe what she just said. What wants to channel through you? Is that it?
So you were in a constant state of knowing, and the knowing started at a very young age in your life. And that knowing has been with you forever. And you are learning how to trust that knowing in a new way without the walls that were put on, or veils that were put on that knowing, because the knowing allowed you to be, what is the word? Noticeable, and noticeable was very, very scary. And you are allowing yourself to be noticeable now. Ha ha ha. They say with those new pink glasses, you are being noticeable, but you want to be noticeable, but you want to be noticeable for all the knowing, because they find that to be very good. You are stepping into the knowingness of you. And so the channel really is your knowingness, and all the pieces of that, whether channel, psychic information, is all available to you as you're letting go of the veils that were put in place so that you would be protected from the knowing that might got you into some kind of trouble. So you are now really opening to that, into that beautiful knowing in many, many ways of how you are allowing yourself to be seen. So they want you to be seen, and they want you to know that you are to be seen, that it is time to be seen, and that that's what you are doing. And they are grateful that you are allowing your being to be seen, because you have much to offer. In that scene, you will be giving wisdom to many. So we hope that is of help to you.
Love that.
You.
Does that land?
Very much so, and very much reminiscent of our session together, Evelina, when the Council of 12 said as much. So yes, Julia, thank you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you for noticing my pink glasses.
They noticed him. They were like, oh, you didn't talk about the big glasses.
We notice them.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Well,
Who else? Tuning in, Javon.
There's two aspects that came. First of all, I mean, you asked about is the channel open, and of course it's open. But there's a deeper question about yourself, and the question that I wanted to ask you, what I got, is what is your real question?
Mhm.
It's not about channeling,
Mhm.
it's about you. So
With you.
So thank you for that. I guess that points to my fear of being seen, since we just mentioned that. So my real question is, once I am being seen, will I really honestly truly be seen? Or I don't know, maybe I'm thinking something will happen to me.
So what comes from me when you said that is, are you seeing yourself? That's the
Honestly, I'm not seeing myself.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Is there more, Siobhan, that wants to respond to that?
Yeah,
Go for it. You're really bringing through beauty.
what do you need in order to see yourself?
I feel I need to really fully accept all facets of myself, and I do not. And partially, I believe I do not because of the world that we live in. But also, not to put the blame on the world that we live in, I think there's something within me that is very much afraid of accepting certain aspects of myself.
The next question which comes up is, what do you need in order to feel safe?
That's a really good question. That's one I don't know how to answer. It's a really, really good question.
That's the heart of the matter, your safety.
Mm.
First rung of Maslow's hierarchy, safety,
Safety.
first chakra.
Yeah. I'll do that as my homework and
Great.
try and answer that question.
Marie wanted to speak, and then Jan O. We want to say, this is the collaborative nature of guides, that they often come with questions. Do you see
Yes.
how that just kept going deeper, 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 rather than giving her a truth, helping her find a truth, and then find the real inquiry? Beautiful. Marie.
What was coming in for me was seeing you not quite accepting the magnificent, big, strong, beautiful spirit that you are. So it hasn't come in totally. There somehow at some point you feared it, or it's too big for you, you thought. It's like your whole spirit wants to be totally in your body, and it's you welcoming it in and allowing it in, grounding out any doubt, and seeing that magnificent spirit that you are. That's what came in for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. I have been told I have a beautiful spirit, and I find it kind of hard to believe. I'm a lot better. I can say this. Over the years, I've worked on myself, and I'm getting better at it. But yeah, I've been told by other seers how big and beautiful my soul is. So
Yes, yes.
Not-
Who would agree?
no,
You might be the last to know, but it's not really hidden.
okay.
Right? You think you're invisible, and you're quite visible. So you're there.
Somehow the color or the metal silver comes into this for you. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but they're saying to be comfortable with silver will help you be comfortable with your spirit. Getting that. I don't know the vibration of it, maybe I just happened. Thank you.
Yeah, no need to explain. It's an offering.
Mhm, mhm.
You
And
know,
it's so funny because I have been drawn to silver, but at the same time, I've pushed it away.
you see, you
Yeah.
don't need to understand. You do the offering,
Thank you. Right.
and the person knows. Earlier today, what Brooke said was, got Jano in touch with, back to filming. The Polaroid became the guidance, you see. So you offer. And then you deal with the mind that wants to be right. So Jano, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just, I felt the guides in response to the question of how to be safe. I saw this pink cloud descending and surrounding you, Olivia, and just this pink cloud just being totally protective and connecting you to the sky and the earth, and that you can have it around you always to be safe.
I love pink. Mhm.
Yep.
Thank you.
Pink is the color of self-love.
Hmm, okay.
Juliet.
Because it was coming through, and I don't know. They said that the past is the present. Let's see, the past is not the present. You were taught not to accept yourself, and when you accept yourself, you will feel safe. Yeah, you were
Self-love.
taught, yeah, not to do that. Yeah.
Thank you, Julia.
So you're standing up to a lot of old programming. When you accept yourself, you're standing up to all that old programming of not accepting yourself. And then that will make you feel safe, because then you're standing in your, this is mine. Like, that's what they're showing me. It's like, yeah. So there's a lot of ancestral programming. It's probably not just this lifetime. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else? That was rich. Mhm. Brooke.
One more thing. We were kind of grounding into your question and whatnot. I saw like a square and it kept spiraling in among itself. Like it would hit like a container and then it would change a different direction, hit the side and continue. And you're asking about, am I always channeling and whatnot? And it feels like that you created a box for yourself and you continue to spiral amidst those doubts and whatnot, knowing that something greater, like this is just one square amidst something far greater. And that far greaterness is that safety of your connection to creator, to life, to God, goddess, divine, whatever you want to call it, the pink fluffy cloud, that there's your consciousness in and becoming aware of how it hits and spirals in those ways, ancestral, whatever it may be, and allowing yourself to know that that's just one little piece of something greater that's happening, and that you can break that box anytime you want.
Thank you, Brooke. Yeah, when you were speaking, I actually got a kind of like geometry visual. And I do feel like I am in a box. So to be able to step out of that box is something like also the whole thing about creating that safety for myself.
Mm-mm.
Maybe-
Mm-mm.
No.
No,
Okay.
no. It comes from a belief the box is more safe than that vastness that Brooke was speaking of. Really? Really?
That's my programming.
Right. You created the box, you can uncreate it.
Yeah.
If there's more, Brooke, that was really excellent.
Yeah.
There's a funny story of how this kind of like correlates to. It's with we have a farm with chickens, and there was a chicken that got caught in the like gated thing with the door open, and it couldn't figure out how to get out of it, even though the door was open. So it kept going around the sides, and eventually it got to like the door was open the entire time, but this chicken felt so caged in. And that's just like a parallel of like this image that I saw, and what you're talking about is like we have created these boxes for ourselves, but the door is always open. We just have to be able to allow ourselves to be guided to that door.
Oh, great mother goddess, help me find the door.
Yeah. Yes.
Take me by the hand, mama. Take me to the door and walk through it with me.
It's called Plato's Cave. It's
Right. Oh
pretty
my.
fun.
Yeah, I came across that's funny you mentioned that, Javon, because a couple of weeks ago that came up in topic, Plato's cave and the shadows that were in the cave. You see it, but being completely unaware, there's so much more outside of that cave.
Mhm,
Wow. Thank you so much.
mhm.
Thank you, all of you, so much. I mean, you really tuned in,
Very much.
percolating inside of me right now. So thank you. Yeah.
So could we all just offer, do you want to be love today?
I do.
Okay. Let's all offer love, our blessing for this journey and for the evolution beyond the box, whatever it is, be guided, blessed. And oh Goddess, make it as easy as possible. And lots of pleasure, lots of love for love. Yeah. You know, you could just say to the universe, I think I might perhaps maybe be ready to be taken to the portal of the door. But I have to know that I'm going to move into a lot more love, a lot more ease and peace if I walk through that door. So let's talk about what future we're going to have on the other side of that door. That may help you build safety. You know how before you go into a relationship, you'll make your list.
Mhm.
So before you go into a relationship with your more expanded self, you're being encouraged to enter. You can make a list with spirit. I want this and this and this. At such a turning point, there's often multiple futures.
Mhm.
Do you want your, you come to the portal, you come to the door and you're about to step through and you bring your fear with you? That's not a future you want to live in. And sometimes the reason the portals are so narrow is so you have to leave your baggage behind. It's just baggage. You know, it's what hot air balloons do to hold them down to the ground until they're ready to fly. Just baggage. This was a very alchemical process right here. Lovely. Lovely. So, how about we take a moment and glean the gems? So, I want to say thank you, love, for your vulnerability. You're willing to work with people, and all of you bringing through such wisdom, every one of you. Beautiful. So, let's glean the gems of what we learned today. I grew up on a farm in Nebraska, and the wheat gets to be, with irrigation, it might be before it's like hip high, and then it gets to be like breast high. And out of all of that plant, what you savor the kernels, just that. So what are the kernels of this learning today? About yourself, about channeling, especially about this work we're doing.
think the golden nugget is the spaciousness, the theme of spaciousness, that of your individual self, and then like your greater self and giving that space so that the essence of who you are can kind of merge with the message that needs to be translated. And that spaciousness, there's the realm of potentiality, which I think you're talking, or possibility. So I thought that was kind of the main thing for me. And from that like spaciousness of the void, like something can just lightning into your consciousness. And it was really cool to see how different people channeled. Really liked Juliet, you just like fully went into it. And like for me, that's something that I'll be practicing. So thank you for bringing that into practice.
Beautiful. And it seemed when you were channeling to love that it was the perfect message for Brooke too.
Mhm.
So it might be really fun to watch the replay and receive that as if he were speaking to you as well, because we think the guides were speaking to you and through you.
That's what it felt like. I was like, am I supposed to, is this for love or is this for me? And then it felt like it was for both. So they just shared.
There's only one of us. You know, this is the realm of getting out of the binary. Yeah. It may be for some of us. Yeah. Thank you. Marie.
I found it interesting that I went to trying to explain what I was saying, because that took me out of it into my, and I guess it'll take me a while to fully trust
Oh, yeah.
everything I say and not have to explain
Mm-hmm. Right.
things. That was good for me to see. Yeah.
Great. And you'll learn to feel the difference, because even the tenor of your voice changed. You'll learn to notice when small self comes in and go, oh, blah, 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 and stop. Yeah. Beautiful.
I have a few things that came up for me. First of all, especially when I was doing the channeling with Olivia, there was a moment of like, what is mine and what is the guides? Am I completely empty here, or is there a place that I'm bringing my own input? And because this is how I work with people in sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was my mind asking a stupid question, which has nothing to do with, and it didn't really matter at this moment.
Well, there's some value in the question, because, and we relate to the meaning of, we've said Evelina sits on the council. So it's my mind, that's different than channeling, and it's my mind and channeling working together.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a valuable state in itself, because you have your own soul brilliance. When you're working in that channeling mind linkage, you're coming more from that soul brilliance. And so what comes through is great. It's fine if your mind, is a vessel as well for that. And it is.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying, that it doesn't really matter at that moment, for me at least.
It doesn't matter. And it's a very valid, powerful, potent place to be in collaboration.
Always.
So Evelina's been a therapist for 45 years. So very often in the work, there's us and Evelina. And sometimes it's fairly blended. And why not? Why not use all of her talents as well? So it's the channeling, the guidance, and it's the vessel. And there can be a moving back and forth. And all of you have been doing it, actually. You drop in and you're doing the channeling and the vessel's there. And you learn over time that all of it's valid. And how exalted can I reach? How high can I pull this from?
I want to share something.
Mhm.
I had a ceremony that in the end of it, it was a long time ago. I was putting a psychedelic trance, which I really love in person, but you know, the person that I work with would be appalled, my original teacher, if I put something like that. And I got a clear message I need to put it. And I was asking the medicine about it. And after a few exchanges of like, really, no, yes, really, yes, there was like, this is your own personal essence. And even though you're doing my will, you're bringing your personal essence into the ceremony, not just me. That's what the ayahuasca told me at that moment.
Yeah.
So there's the thing about that. There was another point for me, which was like I was looking forward to have be like the part of sitting and asking that question about that people would channel. And there was a certain moment that I was like, yeah, but this is exactly the answering your question. Whatever is going with Brooke, whoever was going with Olivia was exactly answering whatever I needed to hear out of all of this.
Answering your question. That's so good. That is partly because of the quality of the people here and the shares, that it touches some point in the universal experience. So you find the golden nugget there and you take it personally.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's very interesting for me to do this in this setting, because I was like looking back over, okay, so oftentimes when I answer questions in a group, it's a general question and I just let the answer come completely out. And so that hesitancy I had, I realized I was feeling that from Olivia's little girl of saying, wait, I'm trying to hide. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to out you here. I don't want to say too much about you and have you be seen before you're ready. So looking back, I was like, oh, okay. So that was part of what was happening. And it's a good learning for me because if I'm in a setting, I usually, like I said, I usually do this privately with people. But to do this, it actually, looking back, I thought, okay, that feels an integrity for me, is how to share and how to respect at the same time. So, and hopefully that felt respectful to Olivia too, and to your little girl.
And there might be a place there of saying, I'm curious if you want to hear more, or an inquiry to check in. And yes, each group has its agreement field, and you were kind of going, where's the edge? Yeah, and I loved how Jivan asked questions, because that's what I naturally do, and it was perfect. And you asked just the questions I'd ask, so there is a sense of it's all working together. And I too felt I received additional answers. When everyone talked, with Brooke, with me going through this period of stepping into a new life, that especially was helpful for me. So, yay.
I just wanted to add that with everybody's input, I felt like different parts of me were like actually nurtured with your answers and your questions. because there were like different facets of me, and in the totality of it, it was just perfect. I felt everybody stayed within the integrity. I'm sorry, I'm with my sister. Everybody stayed within the integrity of who they are. And Jan O, I didn't feel like, you crossed any lines. As a matter of fact, I felt like, oh my gosh, if only you knew, I could share so much. But I felt in that moment that you already knew what I had experienced as a little girl. And so I
But
just
the you and the guides knew.
yes,
Yeah. That
yes,
in that state
yes,
of being one with the guidance, she knew.
yes.
Yeah.
But everyone, I mean, I have to sit with the questions Javon asked. Juliet, I loved also what you offered. Marie, I loved tremendously what you offered. And Brooke, the spaciousness, I'm going to have to like really like expand my mind in this one, because that's me. And I am asking Divine Mother Goddess to lead me to the doorway, because I am just hitting these walls. I'm just going in circles around, and I've known this for a while. So yeah. So thank you to all of you. My gosh, thank you.
Mhm.
I was trying not to cry, holding back the tears. Thank you.
Crying's welcome too. Juliet.
So, wow, for me, this was really, really powerful, because I don't think it's been like that before, where I just was able to, I don't have any idea what I said.
Hmm.
I know that I just came through and said whatever I said. I have vague ideas, but it's really, what I notice happening is there's a part of me like, did I do the right thing? Did I do this? What did I, like it's that, like, doubting, or, something going on of like, what did I, like I can feel it rising, as we're talking. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Good.
What?
Good that you can feel it rising, that you're identifying it.
Yeah. Then and then so just sitting with it, because it was, I just allowed that to happen, allowed whatever came through to happen. And it was very, yeah, it felt more natural than ever before, like it just felt like it was there. But then you go, yeah, that doubting comes in.
Well, then you go. Perhaps you'll learn not to go there. What we witnessed was really clear, dropping into channeling. Such wisdom came through. It felt like a beautiful message that this is part of what identifies it coming from guidance sometimes, is so much is said, it's almost like poetry in prose. And so much gets said. And so you drop these beautiful jewels. If anything, we would say there was a little bit of leaping into it, but that was perfect, because you needed to leap into it. And each time you eased into it more.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time it was like it was like, oh, I have to get it. It's like, because it was like, what's going on, but thank you for saying that, because thank you, the guides, because it's that needing to hear that this is all part of it's good. It's good. I'm good. Like, not that good from ego, but I'm like, this is good, Juliet. You're allowing you to becoming you. You're allowing yourself to.
It's not just good.
Okay.
Fucking amazing. Don't stop at good.
Okay.
That's just the beginning of accepting for all of you the vastness of who you are. Look what we've done today.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, it's just been amazing. It's really been beautiful to watch.
Everyone but you?
What?
Everyone but you? Or show yourself?
Okay.
So how about everyone? I've been amazing today. You know, maybe I'm always amazing. Maybe we're always amazing. So this has been so rich. We're at our time. Can we go just enough longer for Marie? And a
Yeah.
close?
Sure.
Is that all right?
I just need to say that today was monumental for me. I'm in tears. I mean, you have opened up doors and channels in a world that is so exciting. And I can't thank you enough, Evelina, because it's life-changing what just happened today. Thank you. Yeah.
That's
Life-
the greatest reward. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. There's a reason that we are 7. And I think it's partly the potency that came out today is the reason. Wow. Thank you. So let's thank the council and do our unmerge. Thank you to all the radiant beings of light who've assisted us. Thank you to all guides and angels for helping us open, and as some say, holding the speakerphone open for us so we can practice. We thank you, we bless you. Thank you, Council of 12, we bless you. We release you. We ask for the highest, clearest guidance for everyone here, now and through our lives, that we keep our feet on the path of highest destiny with ease and miracles of grace. And may the realms of light bathe this earth with scalar waves of light from the heart of Source, so that every being awakens to their true nature, comes to live in harmony and peace. Blessed be. Whew, there's a lot of guides lifting up and out of here. Whoa. So when you feel that, you know that they were here. Did you feel the difference? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dear ones, thank you. Bless you. Let's unmerge. I bless you. Thank you. I release you. Crown. Third eye, I release you with love. I bring you home. Throat. Oh yeah, being each other's voices, letting everyone back receive their energy back that you used to tune into and coming home to self. When you channel, this is really important. From the heart, I release you with love. I bring my heart back. Third, I release you with love. I bring me home. Second, I release you with love. Bring myself in. And first, I release you with love. I arrive home in my core, pour myself into my vessel, and surround myself with the light of my being. Thank you.
Give everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good week.
Yes.
Yes,
Have a good week.
A good week.
and include self-care and pleasure in your good week. Ah. So Mighty Networks would be a place you could go right now and continue conversation with each other right now.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh.